It's not going to be a have to, but I feel like if we do some forward folding, the chair can be a nice prop to have nearby. So all lovely and good. Okay. Well, I say this is time to rest, but let's start with a little bit of this energizing, moving stuff around. And if you want to make some noise, I'm talking, so it's happening. Just do that, and then just feel like these, like maybe on upper arms. Maybe your legs need some tapping. Maybe the back of your neck needs some rubbing or some tapping, or just a wake up. And then wherever you are, just continue there. And we're going to go to tapping the crown of the head. And it's just a wake up. And you can even start to listen to those sounds right by your ears. Tap all over the head, front, back, sides. Drop your jaw. And then take your hands, just rest them for a moment. Just feel into that awakening and the resonance of your touch. And we'll do one more little energy center, and that's the one right under the underarm. So just like a little ape, take your fingers right in there and start making circles or pressing. Lift your chest and drop your shoulders. And, areas of discomfort, always good. And can't be the only one here. Do you feel that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. All right, and that's good. Just come back. You can even feel like your wings are floating a little lighter. And then settle into your sit. Lift your heart and drop your chin. Feel the sacrum, the tailbone supporting your sit. Maybe not the tailbone, it's actually the sit bones, but the tailbone is just having that space to ground. As you exhale and bring your hands together at your heart, welcome yourself to your practice. I'm just going to start a little differently today. As I say, we're getting into this deep, dark family time of the year. And just remind yourself who you are. So just repeat after me in your mind or out loud. I state your name. Daughter of, state your parents' names. Or son of. Grandchild of. And all your grandparents' names, just invoke them here. Enter into this practice with all love and support within me and around me. And just open with one Om. Inhale. Om. Bowing your chin, release your hands to your thighs. Lift your chin and open your eyes. Okay, just going to stretch our legs out exactly as you are, and we're going to start with a footie. And I was going to say you can use the ball. I think I'm just going to start here today, and with the sock on, sock off. And just pay extra attention to the soft parts of your foot. Yeah, you can get on the ball and very carefully use the ball. And I'm just weaving fingers between toes. And we'll take maybe 3 more breaths here. Connecting. And then release, step off your ball or so, good morning to your foot. Pause. And then switch. Same thing, just being with the softer parts that don't connect to the earth as much. And there's a reason. All the sacred geometry, how the foot is created. Fascinating. Good. Okay. And then you're weaving fingers between toes here. And just finishing up. Being with your feet, yes. How can you start the day giving your feet a kiss and some love? Okay, fairly well. So we're gonna start. On your back, and like I said, we'll set up close to the wall. If I have a blanket here for the torso and this huge torso-sized heating pad. And then I'll take another blanket for the head. Just gonna refold it. All right, and so I'm just gonna leave the head one. I didn't set it up. I'll pull it in as I need it. Oh, let's have a block nearby too, guys, just as you're coming down. Oh, let's have a strap nearby too, just as you're coming down. Let's take a strap. I'm just gonna set it here. And then I'm gonna lie down with my feet very close to the wall. You have your knees bent, and then you can adjust all that good stuff. Oh, hello. Prop under your head, how you're placed. And we'll just take a few moments to be here. You walk your feet apart, bring the knees together for support. Heel, you can pigeon toe or turn the heels out slightly. Okay, and then really just for the next few breaths, even using the sigh, feel yourself from the whole inside. It's really release to the floor. From the pubic bone, all the way up through the neck, back of your head. Okay, well, we're going to open the knees. We're going to come to windshield wiper. I have my arms over my head. You could put your arms anywhere and begin here. Just rocking and moving your body. Even bringing in the feet a little bit. So maybe your toes are lifted. Just very aware of the feet being rolled over. Let's do one more on each side. And we'll come back to center. Okay, I'm going to walk my feet so that they're close to each other, maybe hip distance apart. And we'll bring the right knee into your chest. And we're just going to do, I'm going to call it rocking horse. So just press into the left foot, bring the right thigh in, the tail is going to lift up. And then we just are moving here. So we're moving, the arching of the back is happening as you do this. And the left foot is helping. Your shoulders are dropping. And then we can even add a little bit of, as you lift the tail, you draw from the pubic bone to the navel, you draw in, and then let that go. And just find these deep pelvic floor muscles. Good. Maybe do 2 more. And then we're just going to rest with this right thigh into the chest. The left foot, you could even walk the toes and the ball of the foot up the wall if you like, or extend the leg up the wall, the heel at the wall, foot at the wall. Whatever you choose here, just feel, if I keep the foot on the floor, I can feel that the whole length of the spine is on the floor as best as I can. If I start to walk the foot up, it does change the angle, and then the work isn't again softening to the floor. So just using this. Okay, I'm going to bend the left leg. So I put the left foot at the floor, at the wall, if it's not there, but with the knee bent. I'm going to cross the right ankle over the left knee. And then arms can open out to the side. Just hang out here for a moment. Okay, the right hand's going to come and find the right thigh, and I'm just going to walk it down to about mid-thigh. And you might stay at the knee depending on how open the hip is. I'm just going to push this right thigh away. And then as I press it away, and my right arm has gone straight, it doesn't have to. You're going to work with the parameters of your body. You're going to start to push this right thigh into the hand, and they're almost resisting each other. And then feel how this affects the hips, even in the sacrum. Just feeling, softening yourself back down. Even as you maintain that, can you soften around it? And of course, you're smiling. Okay, I'm going to release all of that. Keep the cross, but release the arm, release any of that extra work. And we'll just start to wave this right knee in and out like we do. Okay, so we're not going to come to thread the needle just yet. Just come back here to this ankle over knee. We're going to move more knee over knee or shin over knee. And just kind of make this package a little tighter. And then we'll pause here. So left foot is at the wall. Yes, we'll just here. If you can wrap this right, don't work too hard because wanting knee, happenings. But if the right foot can come underneath the left calf, and it just kind of hugs in. I'm going to add the arms. Okay, so if that's not happening, you could be very soft here, or you could just take that outer right shin to the inner left shin. You decide how compact you want it to be. You're going to take the arms up to the sky. Just breathe here for a few moments. Let the shoulders come back to rest. Okay, I'm going to take the left arm over the right. Just drop your hands and find the backs of your shoulders or the tops of your shoulders. And then press the shoulders into the hands and the hands into the shoulders, like you're giving yourself the biggest hug. So I'm squeezing the hands into the shoulders, and the shoulders are pressing out, and I'm smiling, so I don't take any extra. Soften the belly. Okay, and then release. Take your arms out, open, uncross the legs. Maybe you walk the feet apart. Maybe they come to the floor. Maybe the heels come to the wall. Just whatever pseudo shavasana release is here. Through there. Okay. Walk your feet back down to the floor. So they're hip distance apart, not super far. You're going to bring the left knee in, opposite interlace your fingers, and then find your little rocking horse here. Just rocking in and out. Maybe it's very slow, feeling, low back, hips, breath, relaxed face, all these things to be aware of. And the next time you hug the knee in, maybe you add this muscular lift from the pubic bone to the navel. Release it, and then just drawing in this very strong muscle that doesn't get a lot of attention. Bring it in. And then soften everything back down. So even as you hug this thigh in, coming back, full length of spine to the floor. And then right foot can stay where it is. You can come to the wall, bend straight, just find your pleasure. Wherever you feel you're connecting to the length of your spine, resting. So it's a private inquiry. Where's the best place? Yeah, I'm just really feeling into the shoulders and releasing them away. Okay, and now we're going to cross this ankle over knee. And just open your arms out, be here, find the right placement for you. How do you know what that is? Well, so you feel like, both sides of your body, two sides of the sacrum, everything is pretty much even. One side's not lifting up more than the other. Just walk your foot. Now take your left hand, find that place. So I'm drawing the hand down where I can start to press this thigh away. Maybe the arm goes straight. Then I'm going to add the thigh pushing back into the hand. And feel, that bring balance into the hips a little bit more. Is anything poking up? So I always have my bottom ribs kind of come up. I'm just going to bring them back down. We'll find full length back on the floor. One more breath. And you'll release your hand. Take it back out. Let everything just go soft for a moment. And we'll begin to wave this left knee in and out a few times. Think about what you're doing. Such a simple, I never mean easy, but simple thing. But how much is happening here? Feel the whole left side is opening and moving in a way we don't normally do. So that's awesome. Okay, and then just come back to rest. You're going to cross knee over knee, or maybe it's shin over knee. You might walk the right foot in a little bit. Okay, and then just be here, feel this. Look for balance and support. Okay, I'm going to take this left foot underneath the calf and just wrap it to the other side. So you decide if that's for you today or not, it's fine. You would connect the two. It's always fine. It doesn't matter if you ever get there. You work with your own parameters. Okay, I'm going to add the arms. So we're going to reach the arms up. Let the shoulders drop back down to the floor. Okay, this time the right arm is going over the left. You find your backs of your shoulders, tops of your shoulders, anything there. I'm going to add this isometric action. So I'm going to press the hands into the shoulders, like the biggest hug. And the shoulders are going to hug back into the hands. And finding the connection here. And drop in as best as you can. Soften around the actions. The hips and the shoulders engaged here in some way. Okay, and then release yourself out and come back to whatever feels nice for a rest. Knees bent, feet on the floor, legs straight, whatever it is. Just feel you're expanding groundedness, expanding energies. Okay, you place both feet at the wall, and they're like, nice together. Good. Okay, bring the left knee in, hug it in, and then as you hold it here, we're going to push the right foot into the wall. Let the hips lift a little bit, and then come back down. So same little rocking horse action, but now we're at a different angle. Okay, so you're just feeling, it's nice lift. You're
working the back, and we're working those deep abdominal muscles, I want to say too, because they're helping with the lift. Okay, I'm going to hang out in the lift for a breath or two. If you want to straighten your left leg, grab it. You can be here. Okay, and then lower yourself all the way down. Rest, so maybe both feet at the wall or feet at the floor or feet wider apart. Just take a few moments to feel. Oh, I have the feet at the wall, and we'll start to just add a little windshield wiper here. Yeah. Okay, now do the second side. So feet are together-ish, heels are apart. We're gonna bring the right thigh in, and then you start to find your little rocking horse. Walk your left foot wherever you need it to be. Maybe you're drawing the abdominals in when you get to the peak of the lift. Supporting your back, think of it that way. If I draw the abdominals in, the back is going to get some support. Hope you're breathing well. And then we'll do hang out in the lift for a few moments. You can straighten your right leg if you wish. Just for, oh, so beauty. Yes. And then release. Come back and rest. Okay, I'm going to walk the feet a little bit out. Do some windshield wiper here on the wall. Take the arms over the head and just enjoy this extra little bit. Okay, and then we're going to walk the feet back. Okay, we're going to lift the hips. So if you want to scooch, I feel I might need to scooch a little closer to the wall. That's why I say that. So it doesn't, you'll figure it out. Okay, and then once you're here, so I'm going to take the arms down by the sides and then out a little bit, palms down. Press your upper shoulders, upper arms to the floor. Then you might, just play with the placement of your feet, maybe a little wider than we place them. As you exhale, soften to the floor. Begin with a softening. And then as you inhale, push into the feet. Lift the hips. I always have to lift the head to replace it. You kind of see where you go. And then you'll lower all the way down. And you'll be like, oh, we do that on the floor, but this is so different. Okay, so once you've done one, you kind of figure it out, and then lift and take my arms overhead just for fun, and then lower down. Okay, I'm going to do two more. So however you want to do them, arms down by your sides, whatever you want to do. This is my last one. Okay, and then we're going to come down and you're going to rest and however you like. I've just stretched my legs up. I'm going to pull this little blanket back underneath my head and just bask in the glory. Okay, good. Let's walk the feet down to the floor and we'll find your block. Okay, and then we're going to just rest the sacrum on the block like we do. You could use two blocks too. I didn't grab two. Sometimes it's nice. Maybe you want more support underneath your sacrum. You can make it bigger. Two blocks. So, okay, whatever height you go to. Now I have talked about 2 blocks, so throw them in. So they're touching each other. I have them on their second height. Okay. Now, once you're on your blocks, maybe the feet are going to walk out. And then the knees are going to come in towards each other. And they might not touch, depending on how high you are on your blocks. I'm just going to be here in this, I want to call it a restful place of dropping in, letting the inner hip creases just rest in towards each other, inner thighs in towards each other. Okay, so once you're in that, before we really rest, I'm going to just roll onto it, depending on how you have your block. I'm going to say lift the left hip even a little bit, put it down, and then do the same with the right. So you're just replacing yourself. It's just a little lift, come back. Okay, and then come back to this wide-legged, basic resting pose. I'm just going to breathe here. Soften. This is your upside down, hips higher than heart, heart higher than head. And we'll come back to this idea of dropping the whole back body, releasing down as best as you can. This heaviness in the back of your head, back of your heart, back of your solar plexus area, mid belly, sacrum, pelvic floor, even into the legs. Release. Okay, soften anything else you can. Next few breaths. Okay, we're going to come out of this consciously by just heel toeing the feet towards each other until the knees naturally come apart. Okay, now I'm going to just take a little baby windshield wiper just for, wherever height you are on the block, just to roll over that and ground into the bones a little bit there. Okay, and we'll come back to center. We're going to come off the blocks. Just lower yourself all the way down. Feel this great release. And the next pose is going to be hugging the knees in. And we're just going to rock them very gently. We're just using this to release the low back after that. We're just hugging the knees in and out. And we're going to rest with them in to whatever extent that is for you. At the same time, the work is in softening to the floor, releasing as much as you can. It really is what can I release today? Okay. Start to make circles with the knees. So hands could be on the knees and keep the circles very small. Reverse this direction. Okay, you can keep your hands on your knees or take the hands off and make these circles bigger. Being aware of, you're using these deep internal muscles to make this happen. And reverse the circling. Keep going very slowly. Feeling like you're stirring the cauldron, your own potion, elixir, your medicine. Okay. All right, I'm just rocking these knees side to side a few times. And hug them back in. And we'll set the feet on the floor. Okay, realign yourself so that you feel okay. Here, I'm going to just walk my feet close to the wall. Okay, and we're going to take the feet up to the wall like you're sitting in your chair again. We're going to lift the hips just like we did, but this time I'm going to take one leg away. So, okay, I just automatically set the shoulders. You take your arms, bend them at the elbows, upper arms to the floor, and plant those upper arms, the tops of the shoulders down, lift your heart, and then bring the heart back down. Okay, now take the shoulders, the outer shoulders, just lift them up and put them down. Okay, so we really set this part, and now I have a blanket under my head. I'm going to take it out. Okay, now the arms can stay like this, or they can come down. Exhale, soften. Now I'm going to bring the right knee into the chest. Push the left foot, lift the hips, maybe the right leg goes straight. Don't turn your head, please. Maybe here or not here. And then lower yourself all the way down. I'm going to change legs. Okay, so I bring the left knee in. You inhale and push into the foot. Lift up. Okay, I'm going to do that one more time on each side. Yes. You're just finding it. You're just playing. Yes. Good. Okay, and then come back down and just rest. Whatever that is. Okay. Good. All right, bring your feet down to the floor. Hug your knees in. We're gonna come, let's just take a twist over to the right. Drop your knees to the right. Arms can open out to the side. And just breathe here for a moment or two, softening to the floor. Okay. You take the left arm, knees are to the right. Open the left arm all over your around you and bring it over so you're lying on the right side. Okay, now stay here on the side. I have my head is lifting. I'm going to take the top leg, the left leg, and just pop it back. Now open that left arm again, over arc onto yourself, roll onto your back, let the left knee come up, let the right knee come up. Drop both knees over to the left, sweep this right arm up and over. You can adjust the placement of your legs and then bring it on back. And we're just gonna roll through this a few times, just rolling yourself side to side. And I'm going to do one more on each side, nice and slow. Just exploring space. Okay, and then we're going to finish off on the left side. We're going to make it into, your lying down twist. And once you come to the left side, bring the right knee on top of the left, then open up back into twist. Breathe here. Soften. Release. Okay, I'm going to take that right arm, bring it all the way over to the left side. Press yourself up to sitting. And, here we are right close to the wall. Let's just take your back right to the wall. Lean against your wall. You can stretch your legs out or have them bent. Feel the head at the wall. And hands at the floor. Maybe the shoulders at the wall, back at the wall. It's always fun when I just feel I'm about to do it on my own. But here you are. You're sitting at the floor, head at the wall, and then if you can make yourself taller. And you anchor the sit bones down and lengthen yourself up and find this here for a few moments. Press the back of the head, back of the shoulders, back of the heart. Sit bones to the floor. Wow, forward fold. Let's just walk the hands forward wherever you go here. Just a little bit. And I said, have your legs in Sukhasana, cross-legged or stretched, whatever it is, just walk yourself forward. Think of, finding that if their wall was still behind you, lengthen. And from the length, come forward. Let's just explore this for a few moments on your own. Just whatever's happening. Walking yourself with great consciousness. Take 2 more breaths here. Use your hands, friends, to walk yourself back upright. Okay, I'm just going to turn around. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do so that you can set yourself up with whatever height you need. I'm going to come. You remember good friend this, good friend this. So think good friend this. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We will end up like here, so you can kind of play. And if the leg strays too much, you can always come down. Make it less, and then you get extra shoulder. Maybe if I do that, I'm like, ooh, that's good. Okay. All right. Well, let's start with the hands down, feet on the floor. And after you've marked it a little bit, and we're just going to do this little heart flossing. So just bringing the heart space in, even it's cat cow.
in a different plane. You know, feel the wings moving. Maybe this is completely initiated by the movement of the shoulders, and then everything else fills in. Okay, so good. Well, now we've done it here on the hands, so let's come down onto the forearms and notice which one wants to go first and switch unless you're down already. Open your hands so they're planted. Good. And then let's just do that again. Just floss. How often do you get into this shape? Doing your cat-cow. Really moving your shoulders, and you know, if your head is okay, to move along there too. So you tuck the chin and you're opening the throat. Okay, and then we'll come to find neutral here, whatever that is. You know, you feel the shoulders, the heart is lifting, chin is, you know, not poking up, back of neck on, and we'll take the legs up the wall, and we'll just start here. I'm going to take both legs up. I'm going to press the heels into the wall, feel the heart lift. You could lie down if this feels too much, lie down. Spread your toes. Good. Okay, I'm going to bend just the left leg, put the left foot on the floor. Now, I don't feel too much here, so I'm going to come up onto the hands. And I turn the hands away, open your heart. Okay, now here, this is a walk-in. So from here, I want to feel more. I'm just going to keep walking and extend this leg up the wall. And see, without letting the right hip lift, I can feel, oh, Joe, you keep the hips down. And just be here in this lift as best as you can. Softening where the stretch is happening. Lengthening. Okay. Then if you've walked yourself in, maybe you bring your tush back, take the leg down, and then we'll do the second side. So I'm going to turn my hands out, open the heart. I'm going to take the left, we started last time with both legs up. I don't know if that's easier, but I'm going to take the left foot to the wall, and then, you know, feel something here more right away. I'm still going to walk it in a little bit and let the heel come up the wall. And notice if the left hip is lifting. Soften around the stretch. You look at your foot lovingly. Lifting the heart. Moving in slowly. Okay, and then we'll maybe walk back, release. You turn your hands or, you know, do a little bit of this. And the next thing I'm going to do is take both feet to the wall. So turn. I'm scooching my tush in to start. And maybe it's a lean back. Maybe you need to start here. Take the legs up and you kind of see, okay, what's going to happen? And I use this. If I bend my legs, what does that do? You just try it. Maybe that's better. I'm just here. I'm just breathing. Anchor the heels. Find the sit bones. Heart. Your smile. Okay, and then maybe the feet come down. Maybe let's lie down. Let's lie down. Let's lie down for a moment. Just open your arms out. Heel toe the feet. Bring the knees together. Just bask in the, you know, it is a release of energy. Okay, now hug the knees in. Rock and roll them in, and we're gonna come. We're gonna move away from this, but before I do that, I feel like I want to put the feet at the wall and just do a few more of those lifts. That's such a good spinal movement. So just bend the arms, set the upper arms, set the shoulders, set the head, soften, and then as you're ready, push in, lift up. Okay, I'm gonna add the arms here, friends. And take the hands down, interlace them behind the back, and then walk the upper arms together. Press the feet in, be in the lift. One more breath.
Now I'm gonna release the hands, arms out to the side, lower all the way down. Stretch the legs up. Breathe. Feel, bask. In the joy of a great wall. Okay. I'm gonna bring the knees in. I'm gonna rock and roll. I know I'm close to the wall. I'm gonna do it anyway. Rock and roll up to seated. Come over to your side, whatever works, and feel. And then from here, we're gonna come. I said we're gonna use the chair for forward fold, but let's use our good friend wall here. So I'm gonna come to sitting cross-legged, and we're gonna set yourself. Let's see, how can you set yourself? If you take your hands up, this is where we're gonna go. You're gonna feel, and the head might come to the wall, might not. So you decide how close you want to be to the wall, and then you might grab that blanket we were using for our head to sit on if you need a little extra height. And let's start in our non-dominant cross of the legs. I actually just went to, we can cross our legs. So many ways to sit. It's not sit, you can sit, and this is just a wider seat where you kind of line the heels. I don't know. I just kind of went into that. Non-dominant sit. Okay, and then just find the length. You have your blocks nearby too. You can always put your hands on your blocks. And just lift yourself up. Imagine you have that wall behind you just for this moment. Soften yourself in. So even the eyes can maybe close or go halfway. So you start to feel the heart is lifting, the tail is grounding. Once you are connected to this sit, then the hand's just going to come to the wall and just lean forward, and they might come right out in front of you to start. And walk them up the wall if that's there, but feel like that full length of your back. And you're not losing connection. The back of your neck, back of your head, back of your heart, back of your waist, low back. And we're just going to drop in. So, feel free to scoot yourself closer to the wall and further away if it feels too tight. Spread your fingers, anchor your hands. And then just breathe here. Okay, I'm going to add some, I'm going to call them cat-cow waves. Like you're going to take the solar plexus back and lengthen yourself up and roll yourself in. So just feel here, this sacred dance of the kundalini, the snake that lays spiraled up. Oh my gosh, my dog just jumped on my back. Okay, lays spiraled in the spine. Just feel, you'll find these waves here. Everything working. Okay. And we're going to rest here. So I'm going to walk the hands down, maybe cross them, rest the forehead on the hands, if that works. You could always just rest sitting with your hands on the blocks like we did. Just be here for a moment or two in a soft place. Okay. And if you have your hands at the wall, push into the wall to bring yourself up. Just come a little closer to the wall, just a little baby bit. Take the hands back to the wall, lengthen. And then as you come down, this time I'm going to bend the forearms so that they might come in, your elbows might go wide. Maybe you can walk the hands out. And we're just going to do a little bit of shoulder push-ups. So you're going to push the elbows into the wall. With the heart space moves back, and then the heart it's just going to do like little heart push-ups. Just do a few, don't wear yourself out, but just feel this connection. Good. Okay, and then just come back to rest, and that could be sitting, hands on the blocks, or resting your forehead at the wall. And breathe. Okay, and if your hands are at the wall, push into the wall to take yourself away. Good. Breathe here. So good. Okay, I'm gonna move the blocks. I'm gonna come to lie down on tummy. So I'll take this little one we were sitting on and bring it there. Okay, I'm gonna use the wall again.
I'm gonna come to lie down so that, and you might want something under your knees, not that, just for support. I'm gonna take the feet to the wall, and you might even be able to bring your knees right to the wall with the shins up and the feet up. And then we're just gonna rest. Once you've got that, you take your time to set up. Okay. So just, I'm assuming you're all in it. I'll just give it another second. Once you're here, just feel the tops of the feet are at the wall. We're just going to press the feet into the wall. And as you experience that, can you draw your sacrum down? You might feel the thighs anchor, maybe not. Be in the press of the tops of the feet as much as you can. And then softening whatever you can, even as that action is engaging other parts. And then let that go and just rest, whatever that means. That might be bringing the heels, letting them drop towards you. Push. Okay. You flex the feet and find the toes at the wall as best as you can. As best as you can. So maybe you walk away from the wall a little bit and get the toes to the wall. If you're resting your head on your hands, change the placement of your head. And then once you have that, we're just going to push those toes into the wall. Feel all the corresponding actions. Keep pushing and softening. Push into the wall, push into the wall. Are the both feet pushing evenly? Keep pushing. 2 more breaths. Push, push, push. Smile. And then relax. Maybe the tops of the feet come back to the wall and we just breathe into that space. Yeah, I'm going to walk the knees out a little bit and just come to windshield wiper. Side to side. And then walking the knees back. The last one. The tops of the feet to the wall. Maybe change the placement of your hand. We're going to keep the top of the left foot as it is and just tuck the right toes under. And then you know what to do. Push, push. Top of the foot, think about it. Push. Balls of the feet, think about it. And then feeling, these very different actions affect the body differently. Keep pushing. Keep feeling, keep softening. And then release. Rest for a few breaths. Maybe change your hands. And then switch. So top of the right foot to the wall, tuck the toes under, and push. Push them in. Feel. Oh, so strong. Strongest feet. Your feet have never been this strong your entire life. And then find that, tailbone dropping, low belly lifting slightly. Keep pushing, equal push, and then relax. Okay, just gonna release the thighs. So if it works, to grab hold of the tops of your feet, and we did bring the strap in earlier, so I'm just gonna do a little lift, a little upward bow here, and just pushing the feet into the hands. You can always just push into the wall and maybe lift yourself up. Here we're getting that thigh. One more breath. Oh, so beauty, yes. And then relax. Just relax. Maybe you walk your hips, roll your hips from side to side, and shake it out. Okay. We'll come back onto the back. And this might not be for everyone, but here I'm just going to keep my feet at the wall, take the hands down, and come up, and then walk the knees in. So whatever works here. Oh, if you come up, maybe a child's pose might be a really nice little release before you set up for Shavasana, because that's the next place we're going. I'm going to do a legs up the wall. And I might do it like where we're away from the wall with the support under the head.
So right now, just be in child pose if that's where you are. And if you're on your back, just hug your knees in for a few. Deep, deep inner work. Move into your shavasana of choice. And you know, you're in a lighted room, maybe you bring your eye pillow in. If you have your sandbag, just put that on your belly or your thighs, and the tops of your feet and legs up the wall. It's a nice thing. Okay, so I'm going to keep my push on the floor. And take the legs up and bring that support under the head if that's where you're going. And integrating everything, that we've come before this moment in this time we are here together. So just really softening, grounding yourself to the floor. You look outside and nature's all tucked in. Just dropping deep, deep, deep to nourish the roots. And it's not about the leaves, it's not about the flowers, it's about the roots. So even as we started, just reminding ourselves who we are, where we came from. And, even the generations that are going to come after you, the known and the unknown. This great connection to life as we know it, family, loved ones. Your own sacredness, your magic. You are so incredibly unique. Unique. All that support with those that came before, just wanting you to be successful, to be happy, to be who you are. Share your magic. Feeling the magic of this rest. Sigh out, drop in more deeply, relax more completely. Allowing yourself to be even heavier so you can be lighter. dropping into the deepest state of Shavasana, relaxation this time. In your rest, as we close out this practice, if you have the time and space to do that. Enjoying the journey out very slowly, exploring space and movement, and gentle awakening. Really taking your time. It's this reminder that there's no reason to rush. Active. Over 10 breaths, 1 minute can make all the difference. Let's see how far here and just being here. And reminding yourself of that patting of the crown of your head, just lifting you up. And the grounding of your sacred sit, just grounding you to the earth, tethering you. And as you exhale, bringing your hands together and bowing your chin, honoring all that you are. And as I think of like the lifting of the heart, and this just comes into my mind, I need to share it with you, but the word, soar, and to soar. When you think about, language, take the idea of soar in your heart, lifting yourself up. And you release the other meaning of the word together, bowing your chin. You seal this practice with one Om. Inhale. Om. Breathe into your hands, catch your breath and bow your chin and put whatever you need in there. And then offer that to yourself and lift your head, maybe open your eyes and offer this out. You get to take it all back. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your energy, and your space, and your practice. Namaste, friends. Let's enjoy the rest of your day. See you on Thursday. So much love. Thank you.